Hey guys, it's Jessica Fury. Tune in every Monday for new episodes. Don't forget to like and subscribe. What is a piece of advice or suggestion you can offer to someone, whether with their mental health or a relationship or in their business?
Think from the end result. Think, breathe, act, speak, sleep from the end result.
Yeah, just keep your head down. And even when it seems like nothing's coming of it, if you feel good about what you're doing, stay in the process, enjoy the journey, and stay out of the results.
I'm going to hit on the wellness piece because I do a lot of encouraging. I feel like I'll invite somebody to a class and they're like, when I get in shape, I'll go. Okay, no. We're not doing that. No, just come. Okay, just start. Like, I know you may take a break. You don't know if you need the right clothes, whatever the case is. Like, don't make excuses for that. Like, you can start where you are. And also don't think you have to overhaul your entire wellness and health in one day, or try to solve all your health problems in one day. Do you know what I'm saying? People
I understand.
really,
I've heard it for years.
You're I know what's up. It's people will come to me and they're just yeah, and I just feel and I'm it took a while to get to this point, so give yourself some space and actually start your journey. Yeah. But it just takes one day.
Yeah, no, I totally get it.
Just a piece of advice for mental health, especially stay away from people that trigger you. Stay away from people that are negative. And I know it's harder than if you are in a relationship where that person is the triggering person, but you really need to look inside yourself and say, why am I here? Why am I putting myself through this? I understand it's complicated if you're married or in a relationship or have kids. You need to get to a place where that literally disgusts you and your mental health and your self-love is at an all-time high. And just, you have to work on that. Mm-hmm. And we love Abraham Hicks, mm-hmm. Esther Hicks, mm-hmm. right? Mm-hmm. And I tell people all the time, look up this podcast. She changed my life. Esther Hicks. We watch her all the time on YouTube. Mm-hmm. And that's what I tell people. If you're struggling with your mental health, sometimes listening to her just puts me in such a different perspective and better mood. Mm-hmm. And it just changes things for me. Mm-hmm. And I listen to her
mm-hmm.
when I'm going through stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'll start listening to her podcast again.
Mm-hmm. Her and Shri Akashana.
I love his stuff.
I listen to him.
Yeah.
I go through phases.
I go through phases.
With him.
Yeah.
Be forgiving on yourself and have patience, because sometimes it may not look like what you want, that you're moving in that direction, but it's just rest assured it's going to be there. Just have grace and patience.
What she said. She said, so, I can't even say it better. Yes.
You normally have the better answers.
I guess the one thing that's really good is to always have, again, to go back to shifting gears, to be able to do different things so that you're not always going down the same track. It can be as simple as just giving yourself a break, walking outside, something where you can go ahead and allow yourself time to catch up and let all those random thoughts, all that stuff that's running around in your head, give it a chance to have their voices be heard. At some point you need to do that. You need the alone time. You need a little bit of area to focus where you don't have all the distractions. So I would say that's just because you've got to hear yourself. People are really smart and we're really insightful, but sometimes there's so much noise going on, we don't really have chance to hear those little things that are little things now, but could become big things later. So I think, that would be my bit of advice. Just give yourself anything 5 minutes. You said you do meditation, something like that, where you can go ahead and get a chance to catch up.
Just do it. What are you worried about? I think we're too worried about what everybody else thinks, and that's why I never did content in the first place. Put yourself out there, put it out there, and your vibe will attract your tribe.
Compassion, self-compassion first and foremost. As soon as anything gets any kind of friction, how am I being loving in this moment? Okay, start with myself. Am I loving myself right now? Listen to this person that sounds like shards of glass or scratching a chalkboard. Do I need to be listening to this? Do I need to be exposing myself to this energy or not? But am I having compassion? Am I holding compassion? I can't tell you so many times where something that was so irritating and just so inconvenient, or what I thought, not toxic necessarily, but is this toxic? As soon as I ask myself, am I being compassionate? Am I holding space? Is this space worth holding, protecting, or am I providing space for this person? What am I doing here? What's happening here? But starting with compassion and love, like, as stupid as it sounds, love is everything. Am I loving myself? Because if I'm loving myself, that's going to be one of two things in this interaction or this event that's easy, and also sometimes uncomfortable. Not you're not always meant to be uncomfortable. Some of the biggest healing experiences in my life were learning how to just accept love. It wasn't about, doing something uncomfortable and learning how to be patient while I was in pain. It was also learning how to just let love in and just forgive myself, which then allowed me to forgive others.
Yeah.
So just having compassion.
I'm on this I've been doing Joe Dispenza meditations, and I've been meditating since I've been 17. That's a really long time. But I've been doing the Joe Dispenza meditations, and at first, when you hear about it, you're almost like, oh, it's just Tom, it is really powerful. It's powerful work. So I also just listen to his stuff because I'm reframing something, and it's very crazy that I'm actually reframing something. And I just feel really grateful to even speak about, like, I actually see all these changes going on. It's just so crazy. Like, it's amazing. But just going back to the love thing, this morning I was listening to something that he said. He said, when we teach them to reframe their brain chemistry, when they hug another person, there's an exchange that through brain matter, it connects you to a place of love. And you could start to just do things that are positive. At least start with doing something that's positive. I love that. Oh my God, I could go on for that.
That is, and by the way, doing a sauna, or in particular an ice bath, is a reset of your nervous system. And everything that guy says is genius.
Yeah.
And to add to that, our hearts radiate a magnetic frequency, right? People say you can smell the person before they come in the room, or you see them, and you have so many other different non-verbal cues of connection. And to your point, can you imagine just having a reset? And when you're fresh and having an alignment moment, or a tuning fork moment where you're in a healthy frequency, and then you embrace another human being who's also hopefully in a healthy frequency, right? Remember the movie Inside Out, where grief and joy had to kind of learn how to become one, and that became something else. And that was also just as necessary an experience to have. And I wonder if a joyful person hugs a angry person long enough, will they become joyful, or will they become angry? And I don't want to leave myself vulnerable to those exchanges. Back to how you frame things. Hey, I'm a loving person, worthy and deserving of love, and I'm interacting in this situation, and I'm not going to allow them to contaminate, but I'm going to put off a positive energy of love and compassion, and I'll hold space for them, but I could also let go and just, say, hey, I'm not going to be enmeshed and entwined and attached to what your frequency is right now. I'm shielding myself, but I still have love for you. I'm going to hold space for you. I'm just not available to do that kind of magnetic resonance, that I'm not going to harmonize with you, which is, again, sometimes run the fuck away. Like,
I don't know, because it would depend. It would really depend on person, situation, dynamics, all that stuff. Like, there would be like a whole bunch of questions that I'd probably just ask instead of just going directly there. But I'll think about that, definitely.
Shit, I kind of want to like go back to if I were like back then, because I know what held me back when I was first starting. So I guess that's the only like point of relationship that I can make. So when I was first starting, I had such a fear of being perceived as like a used car salesman. And so that actually, I think, like debilitated me from being confident and open and talking about what I was doing more so than anything else. So I think it's that, right? It's recognizing that like this, and what it took me a long time to recognize that this is not a sales business. You are in a customer service business, and you are in a people business. So be there with people, be authentic, be yourself, be happy, help people, help people without expecting anything in return, and it will happen for you.
Chase expression. Make sure it's meaningful to you. Make sure it means this thing that you're about to embark on means more to you than anyone else you'll ever meet. Know the numbers. At the end of the day, if you're asking for money, you should have a path for people to make money based on investing with you. And really just be committed to those two things. That's it.
Whether it's reward or work. Before you decide you're finished and you move on to your next thing, ask yourself, is that it? Do I have one more thing in me? Can I make this a little bit better? How do I feel about this? Is there more? Do I need to do more for this before I move on?
Daily routine, I would say, take something from what I said in the morning routine and try it, implementing it in the mornings. In terms of business, I would say have patience and have trust. Know that as long as you're doing what you need to be doing, that results will come. There is no one in the history of history who has been successful like that, right? Like, they're just doing what they need to do every day, and then bang, it comes. And then relationships, just be a nice person. Just be good to people. Like, I don't know. Don't be an arsehole.
I hope you enjoyed this episode. Thank you so much for listening. Please follow, subscribe, and like the podcast. Talk to you soon.